TikToks out of our content.
But liking and
out of our content.
but like liking and subscribing is very important. Not many people like and subscribe. It's important you like and subscribe because it tells YouTube that these men are doing good. Even if we're doing very bad, at least it tells YouTube we're doing good, and then it gets more people to watch it. So, yeah. So, welcome. Very nice. Very nice. So today we're going to be discussing a few things. It's not on the docs, but I'm going to go on a rant because my weekly rants on Instagram work. So I'm going to rant here. I'm just going to complain about something. I'm going to find something that really bugs me and I'll just complain about it. If we get to it, we get to it. Last week we were complaining. What were we complaining about? The snowflakes. So we'll get to another complaint.
Yeah. I like this new setup, man. I can sit here like this.
Yeah. Oh, you're not. Let me go around the edge a bit. There we go.
It's lovely.
Yeah. Well, it's a bit weird because there's random legs. Anyway, we're going to be discussing about racial slurs. We briefly covered it, but we're going to talk again properly because Mohsen, I think, has a lot to say about this.
Indeed.
Exclusively meaning about the P word, N word, and the Y word.
Yeah.
What's the Y word?
You'll find out.
Okay, so
What was his name that we used last week?
Magic Mike.
Magic Mike uses the N-word all the time, and I'm trying to get him to stop because I don't really appreciate such vulgar lexicals. But he keeps using it.
People have asked the Boris to resign. I think we should stop talking about Boris. I think we
We can't. Do you know what happened today?
What happened today?
Check what's trending on Twitter.
We'll get to that.
That's what happened that's got to do with
There's a new Twitter trend. Hashtag.
that's going to keep echoing.
Yeah, can you close the door, please? Thank you. Hashtag dick out.
I'll be back in a second. Yeah.
Yeah, okay. We're going to be talking about hashtag dick out. I don't know what that is. It's for Crescenda Dick Met Commissioner. We'll do about that. It sounds a bit boring, but don't worry. We're going to get more excited as we get into this. And Twitter news. There's a house that's worth 50k in London. Right, in London. I'm going to quickly find this now. Let's see how much this cost. Yo, Momo, switch the screen. Let's look at this. Wow. Okay, never mind. You don't need to see it. Basically, there is a house in East London, right? Very cheap, just come on the market. It's in Clapton, Hackney, right? Only 75 square feet. That's a bit mad. So yeah, it went on sale for 53k. You know what? I would never buy that house.
Have you seen it?
I've seen it. It is worse than uni accommodation.
Tiny. It's bad.
It's worse than
75 square meters.
Momo switch screens. Thank you.
It is the smallest flat in London for sale at the moment.
Yep. Momo switch screens.
Is worth £50,000.
Not that. Show my thing screen.
So what's that called? What is that called?
My PSP.
His PSP.
My laptop. Whatever.
His laptop.
It's number 4 or number 3
There we go.
on the TV.
I
did. It's number 3.
Please bear with us as we sort out.
Thank you. This is the flat. So this is the flat, right? Literally, you can see there's a bed there. Is that a TV or that's a sink?
So
There's a sink there.
So there's a sink TV. If you see the drawers, there's a TV shelf sink. Can you see the cupboard in the drawers?
Yeah.
There's a microwave on top of them drawers.
Oh no way!
And on top of that
Is a bed. This is very depressing.
That's it.
It's more depressing
And
than
you
uni
get,
dorms.
thingy, you get the shower with it as well. Have you got a picture of the shower?
No. That's it. Okay, switch back. Thank you. But it's somewhere in East London, isn't it?
So look, the question I wanted to ask you was, would you purchase that for 50k?
Nope.
Why?
Never.
Why?
Because I found a piece of land, freehold, in Golders Green for 50k. But you can't apply for residential.
How big is the land?
I think it's 100, not 100 square foot. I have no idea how big it is. But this is leasehold, no?
I'm not sure.
Let's check now.
Personally, I would purchase that.
Momo, switch back.
I'd purchase it. I'll turn it into an office or like a solicitor.
Thank you.
I'll turn it into like a
Okay, wait.
for commercial use.
This hasn't been sold yet, but the
Rent it
bidding
out.
starts at 50k.
Yeah, it'll go up. It'll go for like 75, 80, maybe.
But then
100.
again, you can't buy this is a long lease, right?
How many years?
Doesn't specify.
Should be a 100-year lease.
Let me go on their website. Let's look at their website. Is it going to be on here? Oh, it's this one. Found it. Literally, it's the first one here. So this is the thing for it, right? Let's enlarge the photos. So these are the photos of it. That's the street. That's the first photo.
This is in a place called Clapton in Hackney.
Clapton in Hackney. Yeah. So there's the microwave you was talking about. This
North
shows.
East London.
Oh, there's a TV mount there. I don't know how you're gonna fit anything there. Oh, that's a decent.
You can shower while you.
This is a depressing shower. This is so.
Look at that.
It's actually so depressing. Oh my god.
Well, at least you get a shower and toilet with it.
Let's see. Let's read. It has a 995 lease.
995. It's like a 1,000-year lease.
Yeah, but it's got £900 of ground rent and service charge.
Service for what? What services are you gonna get with that?
£400 for ground rent and £500 for service charge. No, per annum. Sorry, per annum.
Oh, for a year.
Per annum.
That makes sense.
But that's £900 a year for what?
I don't know. Maybe
They just converted a house into a flat and something. Bro, it's not worth it. Stuff like that is not worth it.
Normally they take away your bins, innit, if you live in flats.
Yeah.
They take out your bins, and then there's like a buzzer thing as well.
Yep.
That they handle for you. So service charges goes for that, and they look after the surrounding area.
I don't know if it's worth it.
Flat.
Oh, you know, it's,
Communal garden or something.
while we're on the topic of houses, yeah, I've been trying to buy a house for some time now, yeah. Like
How's your search
it's
going?
depressing, honestly. It's
Are you having
depressing.
fun?
No, I'm not having fun at all. I'm acquiring knowledge, of course, but it's very.
I was talking to someone today. Not gonna mention names. Who?
Okay.
Because he sits next to me at work, and we're looking at shared ownership of a property.
Oh, I wouldn't go for shared ownership.
Anyway, you own 25%. So he was looking at a property worth 400,000.
And he owns 25% of that.
So 25% of that.
No, wait. Okay, wait. When you look at shared ownership properties, and I've noticed this. The price that you see is the share you're gonna own. So the 400k is for 25%. So that means that house is worth 1,200.
Is it?
No, 1,000. No, 1.6 million. If it's 400k for 25%, 4 times 4.
1.6 million. Nah, it's not worth that much. I've seen the property. It's not worth 1.6 million. Anyway, he was saying for 25%. No, he went to an estate agent or whatever. And this is what they offered him: 25% of a house. He has to put down 45 grand as a deposit.
Yeah.
And then he gets a mortgage of £225 for 25%, and it works out to be £900 a month.
Yep.
So based on,
But he has to pay rent on the 75% he doesn't own.
yes,
So
that's including the 900. I think.
you know it's not.
Because
it's not.
the thing is that the bank owns the other.
So
75%.
how it works is, correct me if I'm wrong.
Go on.
So there's a property for $1 million. We're gonna stick with the $1 million because it's easy. Property worth $1 million, right? One of these new builds. You share ownership 25%, right? So you pay you mortgage 250k. The 750k is owned either by the government or the property developers. Yeah. So the guy.
Oh, is it? No, not the bank.
Not the bank. No. So shared ownership, the bank doesn't fork up the other 75%. The government will own it or someone else will own it, and they will give you like 5 years.
It's easier if the bank owned it as well.
Literally, and basically for 5 years, you pay interest-free rent. That's how it works.
Yeah.
So, for example, if it's 250k mortgage, right? You pay 25k deposit, your mortgage is 225k, right? You pay like what, £800 a month for that thing. Plus, you pay another 800 to a grand and a bit for the rent for the thing, which depending on the person, depending on the property owner, may include service charge, may not include service charge. And bear in mind, because these are all apartments, they're not houses. You don't buy to share a house, innit? So it doesn't work like that. So it's just how it is, innit? So I wouldn't recommend buy to thing. But if you are how I would do it, if you can buy a house, right? If you can, in these stages, right? So don't ever rent. First, try and get yourself a house. If you can't get a house, then go for shared ownership. And if you can't do any of that because you got no deposit, then go for rent. Rent should be your last option.
I just want to say F you to the banks, right? Because they're just crooks. The biggest crooks on the planet, believe it or not, are the banks. They get away with murder. The reality is you need somewhere to live, you need somewhere to stay. So go ahead and stay where you feel comfortable, confident, and safe.
Of course.
Chiswick.
No, but like for example,
that's the posh part
people,
of mine.
the thing is, people who rent, yeah, they're paying whatever the rent. Say for example, £1,200 for rent, yeah, as an example. That 1.2k a month is going into the owner's pocket. You're not getting none of that back. If you do shared to buy,
Okay, that's fine. Then buy yourself a property.
okay, but if you can't buy property,
Tough luck, innit?
in it. But no. So
That's how it works.
here's
That's how the cookie crumbles.
no. So like here's what obviously it's quite hard, right? But if you, for example, get a smaller property, toughen up a bit, decrease your rent and whatever, for 1 or 2 years, just save. If you can save at least 2-3K in 1 or 2 years, right? The more the merrier. Then you go on a shared ownership. Then at least every month you might pay the same rent every month, but at least that 25% is like reinvesting.
Well, that's what I told him. I said to my friend that, look, your 25%, technically it will double in 10 years.
Something like that.
If not, let's say 25% a quarter in 5 years. And we did the calculations. You know how much he walks away with after 5 years? But yes, he's put a deposit down, he's paying rent, he's paying his mortgage, everything. He walks away with over 100K after 5 years.
What, new equity?
Yeah, because the price of his share has gone up.
Yep.
So once he's paid back his mortgage and everything, plus all the expenses over the last 5 years, that's taken into account as well.
Yeah.
He's walking away with over 100K.
So it's worth it.
That's more than enough for him to like go and buy another property if he wants, or get onto the property market. 100K deposit on a house, mate, you're laughing. Especially even in London, it's good because you're not laughing. If in Birmingham, Manchester, you're laughing. But in London, that's excellent. That's like, for most houses, that's 25%.
Thing is, I'm quite stupid, right? I'm not like into the housing game, but I've already figured out a mad plan to make better money. Like you buy your first house, credit only, whatever, mortgage, interest only. I don't want to keep saying credit, but interest only mortgage, right? You do that, and then 5 years down the line, you pull out the equity, make it into a real mortgage, or keep it interest only.
Yeah.
Buy another house, do that 3-4 times. You got 5 credit interest only mortgage houses.
Whoa.
Money comes in, you get full rent.
I mean, that's the idea. You do interest free. It's interest free. You do interest only mortgage. You put it on rent, and you just cash in the rent. Who cares what happens to the house? Take it back. By the time that your mortgage finishes or whatever, then they ask for the money. You have made more than enough
To duck out.
You know what I mean? To duck out and be like.
But then what you could do though, at the end of the 30 years, but they're not going to reevaluate the house. You buy it for the price of the mortgage that you got it for, no?
Arguably.
So if the house is
it's different. It's like, look, end of the day, there's two parts of finance. This is why financial literacy is so important, people. Please read books. You've got your assets,
Yep.
which make money. You've got cash flow.
Yep. How much money you make?
So like, what's coming around in a week? Oh, that's my phone. It's so unprofessional. Judges,
You should watch the podcast.
pardon?
You should watch the podcast.
Yeah, you should. Do you want to answer?
No, I'm good, thank you. I need to listen to the podcast. I'm listening.
Basically, so you've got money that you put in,
Yeah.
and basically you're in for the long run. So that's your stocks, your shares,
Yeah.
Precious metals like gold, maybe some other sort of like, what are they called? They're called indices. They're called like oil and gas and stuff like that. When we purchase stocks and shares, of them,
I know what you mean. I don't know what it's called.
They're not called indices. They are called. Bear with me.
No idea.
Out.
Yeah. Sorry, I don't even know the words. What? Amenities.
Energy.
Oh, just energy.
Energy. And then you got your precious metals. And then you got your indices and stuff.
I don't know what's going on next door, by the way. There's madness going on. We could get kicked out of this place, bro. Jesus Christ.
Yeah. So those things, yeah, you put your money in there, ISA accounts and stuff like that, and that's just your money just growing, but your money's not paying you back. What pays you back is dividends on stocks, right? They'll pay you back something like Vodafone, I think, pay 3%. So whatever your share price is. Right?
So if you own, for example, £100 worth of shares,
Yeah.
you get £3.
You get £3
Every
a year, right? But the following year is probably worth 150.
Yeah.
So you're gonna get a little bit more than that. You're gonna get what? If that's gone up by 50%, £4.50. Yeah. Then the following year it's 300.
If it goes up, if the share
Then
price.
you get 9.
If the share price goes down,
If
then
the
yeah.
share price goes down, obviously you get less. But that's the idea behind it. That you over time your shares actually the price grows and grows and grows to a point where you're actually getting paid, 20, 30, 40 grand a year just from your dividends from.
That's depending on the share prices.
Depending on the share prices. Well, no, but the shares go up.
Yeah, but if in terms of dividends, right? Say if you own 1% of a company,
Yeah.
like no, but what's the? Because obviously if you own £100, you don't. That's not even 1%. That's 0.00 something. Because most companies are worth a lot.
No, that's different. You see, that's ownership of a company. Shares don't mean ownership of a company.
Oh really?
No. Shares are something else.
But that's where if you own enough shares, you can become like a board member.
Shares.
because you own a
Yes.
percentage. Because look, there's shares, there are controlling shares,
Yeah.
and there is ownership share. Yeah, like there's, for example, if you're buying shares, you can buy equity shares where you own equity in the company. You can buy voting shares where your shares have voting rights, or you can just buy normal equity shares where you don't have voting rights.
True. I mean, those are what you call silent partners and stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah, with shares, it's like
Because there's controlling interest, there's all of this stuff.
thing is, shares don't give a true indication of how the company is doing.
Mm-hmm.
That's the thing. A lot of people think that if you put more money into shares, that means the company's worth more. It
No.
doesn't really mean the company's worth more because the company is worth what is buying and selling at. Not really what the share price is at, but the share price is a reflection of how well the company is doing and so forth. So it's a difficult one to get to understand properly, especially like what share prices should be and where they should start. But shares, they pay you dividends, and that goes towards your cash flow. So let's say you're getting monthly 0.01 of that 1%.
Yeah.
So every 10 months you get your 1% like that. Cash flow is increasing. So how much money is in your pocket compared to how much something is valuable.
Welcome to Finance with Moses Does Finance.
I read books. Please, guys, read books.
I don't like reading.
So the idea is increase your cash flow.
Okay.
Don't increase your assets are for the long run. That's for when you retire. NFTs is a great asset to have, where you purchase an NFT and then later on in 10 years time, 20 years time, it's going to be worth a ridiculous amount of money depending on what NFT you buy. Not all NFTs are valuable. Please.
And they might lose value.
Do not be buying NFTs left, right, and center. Buy the NFTs that actually make sense to buy. Like the yacht club, what's it called? Something board ape. Yacht club?
The board ape club.
Board
Ape, monkey ape.
Board ape club.
Yeah.
And there's another one.
I have no idea.
The punk one.
Yeah.
Those two are quite.
I don't buy NFTs. I only own one NFT which I got for free from Binance, and that's it. I don't have NFTs.
I've got a couple.
I don't believe in crypto. It's the future. I just don't believe in right now. Don't care. I'm moving on with my life.
You're missing out. Yeah. So
No, it's okay. I'm gonna say this one more time, and I've said this 1,000 times to people, right? Everyone's on crypto, so it's not special anymore, okay?
No, everyone is not on crypto.
No, let me explain. Okay.
The world is not on crypto.
No, let me finish.
Only.
Let me explain.
2%, 1%.
Okay, this 1%. Okay, let me finish. Okay, look.
Imagine when 10%.
Okay, listen.
Or 50%.
10 years ago, 20 years ago, I was looking into crypto, right? And I'm like, blockchain, peer-to-peer networks, and I got excited about all of this, and I was into it, and it was like 0.0. It was literally the smallest community of tech geeks into this, right?
Yeah.
And now I've got Tom, Dick, and Harry's out there. No offense to anyone, but I got Tom, Dick, and Harry's out there telling me about.
Dick, so sorry for you.
Are telling me about, look at crypto. I'm like, bruv, I know this. I discovered it 10 years ago when no one knew about it. It's no longer special.
So what's your investment saying?
Huh? I discovered it. Doesn't mean I invested. And if I did invest, I'm not going to say how much I made or lost. That's between me and my accountant. Besides the point, right? My point is, right? When I first saw crypto, I'm like, raw, this is something special, this is something nice. I want to get involved in it, right? And then 10 years later, I've got Tom, Dick, and Harry. I've got someone like you, no offense to you. I've got someone like you telling me, look at this next trend, right? Let me finish. I'm using Mohsen as an example because I know he's not going to get butthurt. You're telling me about this trend. You're telling me about this trend, yeah? Come do this, come do that, yeah? I'm like, bro, I knew about this 10 years ago. All these trends you're telling me are short trends or short waves that are happening right now. Right, I don't feel special anymore getting into crypto because I got.
It's not about being special.
No, but that's the thing. When someone finds that diamond in the rough or whatever the saying is.
Severix. That's a real nice Hollywood story which we all wish we could live. But the reality is Disney doesn't play out our lives.
No, that's not my point. Right. No, but that's not my point. For example, right? When investors want to look for something, they look for that diamond in the rough. They look for that what?
They look for anything that makes a good return.
What's that? There's a saying. There's a saying. Yeah, I forgot the saying. There's a saying, right? Where
behind every rainbow is a pot of gold.
Stuff. No, it's not like that. No, it's basically, or talent managers or whatever, right? They look for that raw talent. They look for something special that no one else has.
The X factor.
The X factor, right? 10 years ago, crypto was the X factor in my eyes. Why? Because no one knew about it. It was something special that I got excited to get involved. Now that everyone knows about it, I don't feel like, what? It's like, I'm not saying I'm an expert at crypto, but I'm an expert in geek and nerdy stuff, right? And tech. That's my forte, right? If someone who has no idea what tech is or what all of this stuff is, and it's telling me about stuff I already know, or telling me like, bruv, did you know this? Did you know that? I'm like, you're old. I knew this 10 years ago. Because
Yeah, but the
do you
thing
get
is,
what I mean?
it's nice you're talking about tech and stuff like that, right? And I get what you're saying, that it was new and it was exciting. It's not anymore. But, you know, you are aware of how the cryptocurrency now has broken into the financial sector.
I'm sick, and I'm happy for it, and I'm excited.
You know,
right?
banks are looking at releasing their own crypto.
That's sick.
The Bank of England looking at releasing their own cryptocurrency.
That's sick, and there's nothing wrong with that. But my point is,
you've got Visa looking into another one. Ripple is trying to take over Switch, which does international transactions and so forth. 3 weeks or 6 weeks, they're going to settle the case. Hopefully.
but my point is, right? I am now moving on to the next big thing. Yeah, 'cause everyone's doing crypto.
The metaverse. Oh, not the metaverse. What's it called? The gaming.
Web3 is the only
Web3,
way.
yeah,
The only way
Web3.
to metaverse is Facebook's universe. Is the Meta's universe. It's not the future. Web3 is the future. Metaverse is the adverb we use. No, it's not even adverb. It's
Facebook.
It's the adjective we're using to describe Web3.
It's Facebook.
Yeah.
Of
So
social media. So Web3 is the social media, and then Facebook is
yeah.
Web3.
Anyway, moving on. Okay, I'm not going on this crypto round. I can't bother. Magic Mike's just keep going back and forth, giving us ideas. So moving on to the universe and Snoop Dogg, and
Shout out to Snoop, made a boss move today.
he bought Death Row.
Death Row Records.
This is now your forte.
Yes,
So I'm not gonna
you guys
come.
don't know.
I'm not gonna come and pretend like, oh, boss said, did you know Snoop Dogg bought Death Row? And then this will be like, bro, are you dumb, bro? You're old. So go carry on.
Today it was officially announced. Snoop Doggy Dogg. I don't know his real name. Can we get his real name?
Can we get Snoop Dogg's real name?
His real name is.
Go on.
He's of West Indies. He's of Jamaican descent.
Take a guess. I got his name.
Oh, is it?
Yep.
It's Sean. Or
No.
One of them names.
Calvin.
Calvin.
Yep.
Calvin's surname?
Calvin Cordoza Bordus Jr.
Mr. Brodas Jr. Brodas Jr. Calvin Brodas Jr.
I'm happy he stuck to Snoop Dogg.
Managed to purchase Death Row Records.
What is
Now,
Death Row?
You guys don't know who or what Death Row Records is. How can I explain it? Death Row Records was NWA, but a record label.
No, but this was after.
So,
Hello, mate.
oh, here we go.
Big up, big up. Hello, everyone. How much views do we have? I need to go. Hi, everyone.
Hi.
Hi, bye.
Hi.
Yeah,
You didn't even come into work today.
because
You ate all of them, that's why.
I'm looking for
He asked
sponsors.
why is there no snacks today.
See you.
See you later. So, Death Row Records.
Did Death Row come before or after Aftermath? Aftermath was.
Before, Dr. Dre was signed to Death Row Records.
It says here he founded it.
He probably arguably, yeah. He
Dr.
was.
Dre,
Knight.
Suge Knight, and
Suge-
Dick
oh.
Griffey.
Dick Griffin. Who the hell is Dick Griffin? I don't know who Dick Griffin is. Is that Harry or Michael Harris?
I don't know. It's
Can
Dick.
you get? Oh my God, you're taking me back now. Like, so basically, this is how it works. Yeah.
Go on.
If you try to use modern day terms, is there a record label that was financed by gangs, and drug culture, or
What now?
today in this day and age?
There's probably still a few.
What were their names?
What do you mean?
Is there a record label that is run by ex-gangsters or even active
yeah,
gangsters?
yeah.
And the money that was used to run that record label was from drug money.
Yeah, there's loads.
Like, can you give me a name?
I don't know any, but I know there's loads. I don't know.
Death Row Records was one of the first to be like that, because you need to understand back in them days, right? There was no such thing as gangster rap music, yeah. And gangster rap music was basically rap that was from the street about real drug dealers and gangsters and what they're doing to day to day. And what's the word? Publicizing, discussing, portraying what happens in the streets.
Portraying.
But they would say they were advocating and
Yeah.
promoting gang violence and gang culture.
Yep.
But it wasn't like that. So back in the day, rap was just rhymes. And it was just about who's got the most funky rhymes. Now, you're going to say, what sort of rap and how did rap evolve? That's another history for another day. Rap music actually comes from New York, the Bronx. DJ Kool Herc was the first person to play two different tracks at the same time and have like a mix.
Okay.
Yeah? So he was the first DJ to take that record. So basically what DJs would do, have two turntables in the mixer, they play one song, right? And they'll try and extend the song by playing it on the other record. Yeah. And then what they'll do then is play the next track and just bring the next track in. but they weren't mixing it. They were just playing it, so it was continuous play.
They were like fading it and that.
They were just fading it, and it didn't really blend or mix or match. They didn't get the beats right. What DJ Kool Herc did was he took two songs.
He mixtaped it.
He took two songs, and because they sounded similar, he overlapped them.
He blended them.
He blended them, and it made a brand new sound. And people were like, "Whoa, what's going on?" And the famous one was he would use James Brown's "Stomp Your Hands, Clap Your Hands, Stomp Your Feet." What was it? Stomp Your Hands. Clap your hands, stomp your feet. And there's a part, what they call the breakbeat in the song, is when the singing stops and the music carries on.
Yeah.
He'll play that bit, and he'd keep that bit, and then he'd switch it on to another song, which had a similar break.
Similar beat, yeah.
Right? So there's no singing, just the music, and he'll go back and forth with that. And then it will start to like overlap and form a new song. And then I remember he played, there was a song by Baby Ruth called The Mexican. And it's one of the most famous like ice cream jingles that you hear everywhere, right? Especially in America. Then he played that, and then they say, "What happened?" Everyone went crazy. Like, what is this sound? Because it was just basically sampling and putting beats to it, and that was the early version of hip hop, which is that's what hip hop is. You sample beats and you sample music.
Yeah.
You put beats to it, and then the rapping came after, where people would be announcing like the next parties and where to meet and all that. So the announcements turned into rhymes, turned into raps. And that's where it came from. But there was no gangster rap. Everyone was just rapping about their life and what's going on.
But this is that mad history lesson, I'm not gonna lie.
Yeah, so the first ever rap songs, like, or the famous ones, is, what is it called? I think it's called Kool and the Gang. Was it Kool and the Gang? What was their tune called? Rapper's Delight. Can you look it up? Rapper's Delight. Who's it by? Is it Kool and the Gang? So the first big rap song ever was
Sugar Hill Gang.
Sugar Hill Gang, that's it. Sugar Hill Gang, Rappers Delight. What year? 1979?
Take a guess.
1978. Sugar Hill Gang, Rappers Delight.
1980.
1980. So that was the first ever mainstream like rap song, and it's the famous one. Hip, was it?
Give me a hip
Hop,
hop, a hippie,
hip,
hip up, and it don't stop.
That was the first.
I did that
ever.
for my drum. Wait, that was like my first acting thing, and I did in drama.
That
It was
is one
mad.
of the first
I did
ever
a
rap
hip
songs
hop,
ever.
a hippie, and hip
And
hop,
then-
and I don't stop. Sorry.
So you had that, then you had African Bambaataa and his crew that came out of New York. They were doing their thing. Similar. That was very, very techno and stuff like that. Then you had Grandmaster Flash and the Fabulous Five. Their song was called The Message or something like that. So you had all this nice, clean stuff, basically, that was being played. The first ever, proper, like, when they started swearing on records, on rap, that was from West Coast, from Los Angeles. There was a rapper called Ice-T, Old School G. Don't know if you remember Ice-T. Ice-T and NWA. And NWA, you guys didn't see the film. Ice Cube, Dr. Dre, MC Ren, and DJ Kool Herc. DJ Yella, not Kool Herc, DJ Yella. And Eric White, also known as Eazy-E.
Yeah.
These were the first ever. And these guys were like Crips and Bloods. Like, they were from the Crip areas of Compton. And they used to rap about what was going on in Compton at the time. And this is what, the late 80s? Yeah, late 80s. And then once NWA started going, basically Ice Cube wasn't getting paid his right amount. And there was issues with management. Guys watched the film, it's all in there. And then Suge Knight with financial investors such as Michael Harris, big boy gangster, who was talking from jail. He was in jail at the time. And there was a phone exclusively just for him to call Suge Knight on in the office. Landline. Didn't have mobile phones back then. So Michael Harris used to call from jail to Death Row Records studio on what's going on. It was his money that financed Death Row Records. They signed Dr. Dre as an artist. Obviously, he was the producer and whatever. Snoop Dogg they signed. Nate Dogg they signed. They made the Dog Pound. These guys are from Long Beach, California. The biggest signage or the biggest artist to be signed was Tupac Shakur. Tupac Shakur was in jail at the time because it was. Would you call it? It's not jail. It's holding, isn't it?
Holding.
When you're going to court and you come and you're going back.
You got
to jail,
holding. It's not jail. It's prison. It's not prison. It's jail.
It's jail. Holding.
Prison is not jail. It's different.
So. Hello.
We're on a podcast. What do you want?
How can I help? Hello.
We're on the podcast. What do you want?
Live.
Hi. What's it? Did you bring your haircut stuff?
I did.
Alright, I'm gonna make my way now.
Yallah. I see you in a bit.
You waste, man.
So
Okay, but why is it big that Snoop Dogg bought Death Row if he was on Death Row?
Snoop Dogg was on Death Row Records, right? So he was. This is big. This is like Jay-Z buying Def Jam. It's like the slave taking over the plantation.
Oh,
Yeah,
I wouldn't think it like that because
it is because at the end of the day, right? Now, I think you don't know what happened with Snoop Dogg at Death Row.
what happened?
So Snoop Dogg, basically Death Row Records, by the way, was owned by Bloods, but all the artists were Crips.
Okay.
Right. So some of them were Bloods as well, but there was Bloods and Crips at Death Row Records.
Yeah.
Right. But what they used to do was say, like, listen, leave your street politics out of it. Come, you make music, you go. Right. But there used to be Bloods and Crips in there. And obviously, sometimes they get into fights and stuff like that because there's rivalry.
Yeah.
And stuff like that. Snoop Dogg's a Crip.
Okay.
Tupac used to roll with the Bloods. He wasn't a Blood officially, but he used to roll with the Bloods. Suge Knight was a Blood. Not any Blood. He was a flipping Pyru, Fruit Town. Do you know why it's called Fruit
Bruv,
Town?
I'm from London. I don't know these American
It was
gangs,
called-
bruv.
Okay, so he was a Pyru, Fruit Town, Crip. Blood. Fruit Town Bloods, or Pyru Bloods, are from an area called Fruit Town. And it's known Fruit Town because the roads are named after fruit.
Ask him,
Cherries,
Ask him all the kings and queens of England. He wouldn't know, yeah. When he's so-called
Ask him.
British, but ask him about what gangs.
Ask me about kings and queens.
Who was the first king?
William the Conqueror.
Okay, who was the second king?
His son. I don't know. We used to learn from Henry VII, Henry VIII, and then his 6 wives.
Okay, what's after Henry VIII?
After Henry VIII was his son. What's his name? Stuart, wasn't it?
Okay, who's after him?
Elizabeth I.
Then?
After Elizabeth I came, was it Charles? No, who was it?
Okay, anyway, moving on.
Do you know?
Huh?
Do you know?
It's not James. Is it James? Something like that.
James. No, James was Henry's dad, wasn't it?
No, Henry's dad was Henry.
Henry VIII. His
Was
dad
Henry the
VIII.
Seventh?
Are you sure?
Yes. Kings in
Is this
order.
King James or King James' Bible? That one.
No, it's not the King James. The King James is the Bible. So look.
You can have the Tudors and Stuarts.
Oh, this goes further back than William the Conqueror. Jesus Christ.
I used to have a ruler from Hampton.
So look, Henry. You got the Henry VIII, Richard III,
Richard III.
Henry VII. This is going backwards. So this is the House of York.
So hold on.
Edward IV, Edward V, Richard III, Henry the
Seventh.
VIII.
Oh, so Richard III was Henry VIII's dad.
Yeah.
There you go.
No, that's wrong. Henry VII. Sorry, Henry VII, Henry VIII,
Henry VIII.
Edward VI,
Edward VI.
Mary the First, Elizabeth the First,
Mary.
and then James.
That's Mary. How quite contrary. How does your garden grow? I think that's her.
I swear that's Bloody Mary, Bloody Mary, Bloody Mary.
Same one.
No idea. Anyway,
Because her
then
kids kept dying, she
and
got all
after the
these
Tudors, after Queen Elizabeth, you got the Stuarts, which is
Yeah.
James the First,
James the
and then Charles the First, and then so on and so
Charles
forth.
the First.
Yeah.
He's the one that got beheaded.
Yep.
He fought Oliver Cromwell.
Yep.
And that's how Parliament was formed.
All I'm saying is, right, you might need to, if you are British and you haven't seen Horrible Histories, shame. Horrible Histories was enlightened. You enlighten yourself with education.
Might have to check it. Anyway, back to Death Row Records. So, yeah, Suge Knight was a Pyru Blood. The high Snoop Dogg. Snoop Dogg left because of all basically there was issues with money. People weren't getting paid on time. People weren't getting paid right and stuff like that. So he had to go, and he was luckily Master P, who owned No Limit Records. By the way, you guys are thinking, who the hell's Master P? Master P at his time was like the biggest rap producer. He was bigger than Dr. Dre.
I think you're getting too excited. I'm not gonna lie.
No, 'cause I grew up watching all this stuff. You know what I mean? I was part of that era. Yeah, I
Bro, with
remember
me,
quite well.
talk about Tracy Beaker, talk about all of this shit. This is what I grew up with.
The bomber car is Tracy B.
Now you're taking the piss.
That's the book was written by, was it Jacqueline Wilson?
Yes.
So, yeah,
Not Jacqueline Wilson. Jacqueline something.
So it's Jacqueline Wilson, and she wrote The Suitcase Kid because I read The Suitcase Kid when I was at school.
Tracy Beaker.
Anyway, so then No Limit Records, what's his name?
Oh, yeah, it's
Master
Jacqueline
P.
Wilson, I do
See,
apologise.
told you, Master P bought out his contract and brought Snoop Dogg to No Limit Records. So Snoop Dogg came out of that, and he's got a lot of what's the word? That time was really difficult at Death Row Records. But you need to understand what Death Row Records was. Death Row Records was a big middle finger to anyone and everyone. These guys would go to concerts with guns. You know what I mean?
They'll take the yeah.
These guys were not as like, they were very unprofessional, very unorthodox in the music industry. These guys were thugs with money.
What do you know about the UK music scene and the UK
What do
beef?
you want to know?
What do you know?
Like the UK, I'll be honest, the UK music scene is probably at its best as it's ever been in a while. The last coming from like our background where we grew up, our big names were like I grew up with So Solid, with Miss Dynamite, Pay As You Go, Cartel. I grew up with these guys.
Well, this was before grime, innit? This was
And
like
then
garage.
you look at
and
that was
house.
house and garage MCs. And then you look at so I remember when Skepta before Skepta was even big back then. Wiley was big, Dizzy Rascal was big, Kano was the best.
Hey, whatever happened to Dizzy Rascal?
Dizzy Rascal, he's
He was
minted.
meant to go.
He's minted, man. He's made
He
so much money. He's laughing.
He was
He's a very, very good business.
He was needed to go. What do you call it? He was meant to become prime minister at some point.
He was that was drill minister. Tried to become mayor of London. He did
Oh, that
bad
one.
with that. He
Yeah.
was really bad. But yeah, Dizzy, the best in the game was Dizzy Rascal and Kano, hands down. Them two were the best of that grime era. This is like Channel U and all that. I was at college back then. And that was
That's what,
coming out.
1990,
1990 at college. I was
1995.
2002, 2000.
I was thinking late 90s, not early 90s. I was 1990 something, end of 90s, early millennium.
No, I was at high school in the early 90s and 2000s. I was at 2004, 2005, 2006. When I was at uni, this lot started popping off. Grime started popping off.
2006, you're in uni.
There was a guy called J2K. Amazing, really good. FIFA were like taking his music and playing it and that. And then from there it evolved. You know what I mean, with drill and with UK rap scene. Now you got the likes of Dave, Santan Dave, AJ Tracy.
Do you see the thing in the news? Oh, okay, this reminds me. Sadiq Khan said he'd rather invest he'd rather invest in Stormzy and Dave than the crimes. I don't get that. Well,
So basically, they're complaining that London is
needs streets clean up.
Needs a street clean up. Yeah, but okay, whose fault is it?
Boris, innit?
It's exactly. So this is the problem. When you have London will always have a Labour mayor because London is Labour, right? Always has been.
Liberal.
Always will be, right? It's not Liberal Democrat. It's Labour.
No, it's as in their liberal views.
Labour's not liberal views.
No, what is it?
It's left, and it's
So
close
look,
left,
what's the
not
opposite of left?
right.
Okay.
Conservatives, right? The far right. Okay, you got Mr. Speaker.
Yeah.
Right. Racist pricks. Far right. Extreme racist pricks.
So you got conservatives and UKIP,
Yeah.
and then you got
conservatives,
Labour and
right?
Liberal
So
Democrats.
they're right, and then there's the far right, which are known as racist, like Nazis and stuff
Yeah.
like that. Far right. Then you got Mr. Speaker's left, which are Labour, and then the far left, which is like the Green Party and the Liberal Dems and all that.
Yeah.
Right. So.
If you're an independent, where do you sit?
Centre, I guess. I don't know. Like you got to pick a side, then it doesn't really matter. But that's tradition. That's tradition. It's to do with how many seats you win and stuff like that. So, there's a rise in knife crime and gang culture, whatever, in London. They're blaming the mayor. You have to sort it out. The mayor goes, listen. First of all, right, the government, which is a conservative government, have cut costs on policing. Right, so they're telling they're taking away X amount of budget and stuff like that.
You know, I don't think the problem for our crime rate and that is to do with the government. Or it's to do with lack of policing. No, it's not. It's to do with social media. And it's to do with gang culture. It's not about, bro, who... Before, yeah, it was like, don't come into my land, don't come into my turf. Now, it's like, who can do the hardest thing on social media? Who can do the biggest rap song? Who can whip out the most guns on Snapchat? That's what it is.
Is it?
That's what I think anyway.
I think you're quite mistaken.
Okay, you seen Blue Story, right?
Yeah.
Okay, because we saw that together, innit? Bruv, the guys like, they're filming them, like, bruv, you're on our ends, we doing this and that, yeah? And then because of that, they cause beef. It's like, oh, they're making us look like this and making us look like that.
No,
So see, social media, I think, you know,
It plays a part.
it's a massive part.
No, but social media is just communication, isn't it? That's what it is.
No, but it's a big team concert.
it's
It's a big D competition.
fair enough.
Do you know what it is? Like, I've got the biggest song, look at my guns and that. And I'm filming it and stuff. That's what it is.
I don't know. I think gangs have their own politics and their own things they've got to deal with.
I'm not gonna lie, I do think,
I'm not a gangster.
do you believe there's honor among thieves? And the saying of like honor.
There used to be.
There's more honor among thieves
Yeah.
and honor between gangs than there is honor in politics.
Oh yeah, that's 100%.
That's
yeah,
bro, it's
these
madness.
gangs have more things in honor. So I just broke the table. These gangs have more honor than
They respect- they
police and
respect.
politicians. But like I'm not a gangster or anything like that. But I come from the ends in it, so I know people.
Done no thing.
And like I understand that culture and
You know that thing I sent you on TikTok
What?
about the the different vibes of London, right? So the East London's like, yo, bro, what you saying?
Yeah.
And then South London's bring the thingy,
Yeah.
and it was like, hi everyone,
West
how are you doing? Yeah, it's so jokes, bro.
I'm
The
not
guy,
gonna lie. West Londoners we're a lot more sensible compared to the other parts. of
sensible.
London.
The
Yeah.
video, is the video
Yeah.
accurate to some certain extent?
Uh,
Like, you know, like, hi girls, hi
yeah.
ladies, not your
Yeah.
thing. What's it?
Yeah, it is. I'm not gonna lie. I'm like that sometimes.
You know, that's actually so true. Right, I forgot what's the guy's name. I need to find out his name. But he's funny though, yeah. It's like North London, North versus East versus South as well. I think that's very accurate because you're very open. You're West Londoner, and you're very like, hi ladies, how you doing? Hi, and you the jazz hands. And you do use your hands quite a bit. I'm a North London guy, innit? So I'm not jazzy, but I'm not like hoodie, innit? I'd say I'm North London, as I think is a good middle ground of like thing, innit?
Probably.
Because like, but like, yo, what you saying? Like, you good? All right, we're respectable, but like, well, go on. Yeah, done nothing. Anyway, that's that, innit? I don't know. When he just said.
Anyway, back to thingy. So he's like trying to sort out the I don't know, the member of the meeting. Can't even say parliament because I don't know who she was. She's like, oh, when you're gonna sort out the policing and that, this and that. And he goes, listen, I'd rather spend more money on helping the youth turn into like more Stormzy's and Daves.
Yeah.
Than putting it into the police, meaning I'd rather give the money I'm going to give to policing these kids.
I'd
rather invest in the kids,
Yeah.
so that they can become something of their lives.
That's true, you know.
make
Like,
something of their lives.
it'd be better off having like a off-school program or like investing in stuff like that.
Whatever. Exactly.
Yeah.
But these whatchamacallit,
You know, we don't have recreational grounds like they do in America. Like, you know how they're like, oh, let's go to the rec center. We don't have that habit. Like, we did.
Do you know? I'll tell you something.
back in the day, but we don't have
I'll
none
tell
of
you
that now.
something. Like a lot of people, obviously Hitler was a very cruel and dictator and like did some horrible things. But some of the good stuff Hitler actually did. He made physical education compulsory upon everyone for Monday to Friday for 2 hours.
Yeah.
So you have your lessons 9 to like 1.
Yeah, but
2
I don't think
o'clock.
that was to do with.
After that, you gotta go and play sports.
No, but I don't think
Every
that.
kid
I don't
has to
think
play
that.
sports
I don't think
for
that
2
was.
hours.
I don't think that was to do with good politics. I think that's good for. I want good soldiers in my army.
Good soldiers, or he wants to fight obesity, whatever. It was perfect. Because at the end, imagine you played 2 hours of sport. And by the way, when I was young, I used to love playing sport.
I break and lunch. You would not
I-
see me,
well,
not
if-
inside the thing.
If it's football, cricket, basketball, whatever I'm playing, we're getting involved. Hide and seek, cops and robbers.
44 homie. Oh my God,
We
44.
used to be stuck in the mud.
44 homie. Do you not know
What's
44
the time,
homie?
Mr. Wolf?
Okay, that was that primary school days.
Yeah, I still play it. Though, innit? Like,
I'm not called primary school. Do you know have not played 44 homie? 44 homie was
what's
sick.
44 homie?
So basically, there's this homie, right? So there's area. If you touch it,
Yeah,
you're
homie.
safe.
Yeah, you're safe.
Yeah, and then you have to run around. It's basically it.
Hide. Okay. Yeah.
It's basically it. So it's tag or whatever.
Yeah.
If I tag you, you have to try and race me back to 44 homie. Or you have to try and get me and then get safe. And basically, it's like hide and seek mixed with it.
Damn.
Bruv, it was mad. What we used to play in school as well, secondary school. Oh, you know this. People say, oh, you get bullied, or
We
people
used to
say,
play pat ball.
pat ball was hard.
Pat ball should be an Olympic sport. That's how serious people took pat ball.
Pat ball was mad.
Yeah.
Pat ball was mad. You know this. I was playing real tennis, right? And like, there's some obviously real tennis is a white man privileged sport. It's like tennis, but it's more privileged than that. And it's more privileged than golf. That's how it is. Anyway, so there was a couple like Londoners, like kids from the streets and kids from like rough backgrounds and like myself in it. And we're playing, yeah. Also, we got a tennis ball, and we just started playing against the wall, and we just started playing pat ball. He's like, bro, what? You know pat ball? And we got so excited. Hey Sam, if you're watching this, you know what I mean. And oh, bro, it's sick.
Pat ball was big, man.
Pat ball was big.
serious.
No, but what we used to do, yeah, we used to have beef in school for fun. So in my school there was 6 forms, A, B, C, D, E, F, right? It was always A and B.
B, C, D,
So like you got 7A, 7B, 7C, 7. Yeah, we just
didn't
had.
give you names.
Oh no, it was named. So A was what was A?
Colours.
It was colors as well. So A was light blue Aldwych, B was Barbican, which was
I don't know how call it drink in the Middle East.
which I think it was like purple. C was what was C? It's basically based on like London landmark, London perform, because my school was a performing arts style school, so it's based on performing arts. Because you got Aldwych, you got Barbican, you got I forgot what C was.
Royal Albert Hall.
No, C.
Oh, no.
What's like arty stuff beginning with C? I'm gonna Google and go on the website.
Culture.
Not culture.
Camberley.
No. I can't even spell
Cultural
G.
Arts Centre.
So okay, so we had A B C D E F G. A B C D E F.
What was the name of the school?
I'm not baiting out my school because I don't like my school anymore.
It's got what was that? Looks like Nigeria flag. But it's like a Nigerian badge.
Okay, Aldwych, Barbican, Cottesloe, Dominant,
Cottesloe,
Empire, and
Empire.
Forum.
Empire.
Okay, so
Forum.
A B C D E F.
Yeah.
A and B were a team. C was always by ourselves, but occasionally we'd get backage from D. But D was always in their own world. Yeah, and E and D, E, and F would group up. So our form was always on our J's. Yeah, we will fight. You're so funny because I think we had the most like boys in our class as well. I know we had the most boys who were getting involved with like things. So if we were to play football, it would be C versus A and B, right? Or C versus ED. Like literally, C was always on the J's. There was the occasional collaboration, right? But C was always by themselves. And we used to fight. We used to lock down the what's it called? Like the DT building, right? We used to lock it downstairs, but we just beef. There was a wall, right? It was like a turf war, yeah? It was just the first person to jump in would just get rushed. And you just get rushed. And obviously, it was no hatred. Though maybe there was some hatred later on because shit stirring causes stuff, innit? But honestly, there was no... The beef was like more banter than it was real, but it was jokes. Honestly, I loved it. I got hit better times, but it toughened me up. Because you got sensitive people out there, you do this, they cry. And I'm telling you, kids nowadays are messed. And yeah, it was both jokes.
So Snoop Dogg bought different records. London Mayor Sadiq Khan would rather spend money of the budget to have more Stormzy's and Daves than with the police. And fair play to him.
I agree.
I mean, that's better.
Invest in the
Educate-
people. Yeah.
Yeah, help educating and help molding our youth is better than trying to police them. And let's be honest, the police they're pricks.
What's the Y word?
So looking it up.
I'm looking at what is the Y word?
Okay, let's go into this. So you have certain communities who are trying to reclaim racial slurs.
Okay, you got the N word. Everyone knows
The
the N
N
word.
word, where
It goes back to slavery in America.
especially African American people are trying to reclaim the usage of that word, and that they can use it and others cannot use it. But the reality is, and a lot of them actually like they believe that the word should not be said by black or white people at all. But there's some form of like reclaiming ownership of it and stuff like that.
Apparently, a very similar. So it's the same word but pronounced differently in African, which means like queen or king.
I don't know. And I've seen this it was on YouTube somewhere. This girl was talking about how the N word was used regardless whether you're black or white, even before the African slaves came. Like white people call each other the N word and stuff like that.
I don't think so. I don't think that's the case.
So yeah, I don't know, but she was talking about.
Because there's a song, "Eeny, meeny, miny, mo, catch up by the toe."
Yeah.
So that's right. Anyway, so then you got the P word. What's the P word?
P word, obviously referring to Pakistanis. Obviously, you can get arrested for saying that word.
Now,
in the
really?
UK.
So yeah,
Yeah, you crazy.
I don't know that.
Yeah, you'll get arrested for using that word. Basically, Arabs, you don't know. You never suffered racism like we did. So when we came to this country, about in the 60s and 70s, we used to get chased by mobs and stuff. There was a thing called P bashing.
Yeah.
It was a thing. They would go out and they would pick on anyone that was Asian, brown looking, and they would beat the crap out of them. It was just a standard thing they used to do.
It's similar in the same time period when the Americans would do to the black people.
Yeah, same thing, man. Not just us, they'll do it to blacks as well in the UK, and the Irish as well. So Irish people, black people, and Asians, we used to really get along because the Englishman hated us.
The minorities.
The Englishman hated us. And the reason the Englishman hated us was apparently we were taking their jobs and
your teeth.
yeah, and benefits, and we were moving into their areas and that, and the whole place smells like curry now, and this and that, and all this crap they used to come out with. But we as Asians, we've never tried to reclaim the P word. We actually don't want it to exist. There's not one person I know of Asian heritage, whether that's Pakistani, Indian, Sri Lankan, Bangladesh. These are the four main ones that we have similar culture. None of us.
I think in regards to all swear words, even racial slurs, right? It's either you ban all of them or you ban none of them, because you either grow. I wouldn't say grow up. I don't know what the correct wording for that is, but like you just like you what's the word? You remove the sensitivity around it. You desensitize the word. Yeah. Because the only way to truly grow from it is you desensitize the word, or if it's really that bad, you just ban the word completely and don't use it at all.
We have. I don't know if you remember watching.
No, but
the
it's
show.
not just. It's just also.
Did you watch that show, Make Bradford British?
Something like that. No.
They took some white people from Bradford, and they took some Asian and black and so forth, a mix of ethnic minorities and white people, put them in a house together, and they were just talking about Bradford. Bradford, if you guys don't know, has one of the highest
Bradistan.
populations. You've been there,
Bradistan.
so
Don't know.
you've seen it yourself. Has one of the highest populations of Pakistanis in the whole of UK and stuff like that. And they were just trying to find a balance between the two groups and so forth. And there was a point where they were talking about racism and racial slurs and so forth, and calling someone a black B-word. Ex-policeman said that back in the day I would have done like that. And they'd be like, oh, and they were saying it, and then they said the P-word, and every Asian just went quiet. And they were like, no, you can't say it. They were really, it hurt, it hit the heart. It's like, yo, you've crossed the line. And it's like you're bringing back all of these bad memories of us being like, bricks thrown out our windows.
Okay, so you personally, have you been through? I'm not saying you haven't been racially thing before, but have you been through the hardship, the first generation and second generation hardship?
No, I had it easy.
That's what I'm saying. So your kid.
It calmed down.
So
for example, still there, but it calmed down.
So okay, I'm not saying racism doesn't exist, right? But like third, fourth generation of racism, right? So for example, your kids or your grandkids, what about them? How can they not reclaim the word, but be like, oh, you can't use that word? Yes, their heritage had it, but they want
personally. We teach them, innit? It's like you teach kids they're not allowed to say the F word.
No, but for example, right? I don't know how to explain it. It's
they
like
call it F word. They call it F-bomb in America.
F-bomb, yeah. Okay, so what's the Y word? That's I read a couple articles. It's to do with the Jewish community, right?
Yes. So the Y word, the word is Yid, Y-I-D, Yid.
Or short for Yiddish.
Short for Yiddish. And Tottenham Hotspurs Football Club, they call themselves the Yids. They've always called themselves the Yids. Well, not always. What happened was, people used to call them, when Tottenham used to go around on tour and whatever, away games and everything, they'll get called Yiddish, they'll get called Yids, or you lot are Yids, you're Yids. As in, because Tottenham has a very, very strong connection with the Jewish community.
So they're basically calling,
the Yiddish Jewish community.
They're basically calling them Jews.
Yeah.
How is Jews not a racial slur? It's short for Jew.
Jewish, short for Jewish. No, because there's no racial connotation to it. There's no.
Well, there is. If someone's like, oh, you're a Jew, like you're stingy and whatever, yeah.
Nah.
It's like racial connotation.
Not really. That's more to do with behavior, not like we're not attacking your skin color or your genealogy or your racial makeup, chemistry. We're attacking characteristic. You know what I mean? Whereas we get things done the other way. Yeah, Magic Mike's doing his thing. You should just take the camera inside.
Can you at least dance on camera for us?
Anyway, so Tottenham have tried. Do you know who actually started this campaign to stop using the word Yids?
What?
Right? Was David Baddiel. Do you know who David Baddiel is?
No idea.
David Baddiel was a famous comedian in the UK. He's a famous British comedian, very known for Nevermind the Buzzcocks, I think. He was famous for that. And Frank, it was the Skinner and Baddiel show, which was a football show on ITV. Just football fans talking football. This was the original AFTV, or these football podcasts where they just have bants and stuff like that. That was the original one, Frank Skinner and David Baddiel. And so David Baddiel, who's of Jewish heritage, is trying to get rid of the word Yids, right? And them using it in football on the ground and stuff like that.
Why?
He himself is a Chelsea fan, right? So no one takes him seriously, right? Secondly, he's Jewish, he has Jewish heritage. He doesn't like the word Yids. So he's trying to remove it from Tottenham, from their football culture. But you can't take it away from them because, number one, they call themselves Yids. Number two, their football firm, which is the hooligans that go fighting other hooligans, right? They're called the Yids, right? They call themselves the Yids, yeah? And on top of that, Tottenham have made it really clear to fans because they sing, we say what we want. We say what we want. We're Tottenham Hotspurs. We say what we want.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So, like, it's Tottenham have always tried to...
I think EPL...
remove this word... From their culture, from their football culture, but it's not going to happen anytime soon.
I think EPL, English Premier League, has the best, or just English football leagues, have the best chance in the world. Best, honestly.
Yes.
Tell me who beats like this. Have you seen the American version one? What do we want? When? What do we want? Like these are American ones, and then you got the English ones. Like
Americans are crap at that. But the French are really good. Have you seen Paris Saint-Germain? Have you seen their fans? Excellent fans. Ajax have really good fans, loud ones. Italy have got something. They bring out like flags and posters and like they'll bring out this whole sheet.
But singing chant, I'm
from,
talking about
yeah,
singing chant.
and singing. They all sing, but the thing is, you don't understand it because it's not in your language.
Fair enough.
But
Fair
they
enough.
sing just as much. You know what I mean? So I can't say. And they get their flares out and everything. Like they've got really good fans.
So speaking of football, some footballer kicked his cat.
Kurt Zuma.
Yeah.
What do you think about kicking cats? I think this is blown out way out of proportion.
I think.
Blown out way out.
Did he intentionally fly kick his cat?
No, he didn't fly kick his cat. I seen the video. I saw the video. He just dropped the cat and just tapped it to like, yo, get on. You know what I mean, get on with your life.
Have you kicked your cat?
Have I kicked my cat? No.
Okay, but look, I'm looking at the video.
All right, tell me how bad. Is
Momo,
this?
put it on screen. Put my thing on screen.
Momo, you didn't use one of the pictures I sent you. Not even one you put up.
Okay, it's fine. Just flip the switch. So here's the video of the French football player kicking his cat somewhere.
Is he French? I
He's
thought
French.
he was English.
He's French.
Who's he playing for? West Ham at the moment.
So RSPCA took custody. RSPCA took custody of the cat. He's playing with his cats, bro. I don't think this is animal
It
cruelty.
doesn't look bad. I've got a cat as well, and trust me, number one, they're very,
Cats
very
are
flexible.
they're vicious as well, by the way.
They're not even vicious. They're very flexible, and like it's hard to hurt a cat. You know what I mean? Cats don't get hurt like that. But these lot are good. Like they're blowing it way out of proportion. Am I in the way? Hold on, let me move out of the way a bit. Tables in the way, unfortunately. Look at that. How bad is that? Is that bad?
Okay, I think it's blown out of proportion, but as not as you lot can't see the kick, and I'm happy you can't because I'll get done for
Copyright infringement.
no copyright infringement for what's it called? For like animal cruelty on my podcast. So the good thing you didn't see it, but I don't think it's that bad.
But what happened to him?
I think
It's bang out of order, and the only reason that it happened was because he's black.
I do think that plays a part. I don't know.
100%.
Actually, I don't know if it plays a part or
100%
not. But like,
white players saying racist things. John Terry, the prick, yeah.
well, he's long gone.
He got less than that. This guy Kurt Zuma has lost his position in the team, right? Until the thing's done. He's lost his sponsorship, his endorsement deals with Adidas, right? And
Goes back to you snowflakes ruining our country and ruining every industry. Okay, some guy will sneeze. Oh, he's against the environment. He's polluting the air. Honestly, do you know how much BS is going on? It's a violation.
What's happened? They threw the book at him, right? And the most harshest punishments and penalties he could get, they gave him.
Fuck, bruv, he didn't kick. He drop kicked his cat.
Brother.
He drop kicked his cat.
His
And I don't think that's dropping. Why? Because I do this a lot, by the way. When I want to throw my phone on the floor, I let it land on my leg and then land on the floor. Maybe he did that with his cat. Maybe he wanted to soften the blow. Well, he didn't want to fly kick his cat. You know what? Yeah. You man need to fix up, okay? All you people in charge here. Boris, right? This guy was having party and during Corona, yeah. Whether you believe in Corona or not, yeah. This guy he mugged it, right? He mugged it. He was having bloody OG parties in lockdown, yeah. And you lot couldn't even go see your neighbor. Literally, honestly, it's a violation. Yeah, people need to man the hell up because it's BS, right? Because right now I can say something and tomorrow cancel culture will be on my ass, yeah. And come for me, I don't care because I know. I'm not a rude person. I'm not at heart, like raw down, yeah. I don't want to be, I'm not an offensive person. I'm not racist.
I think that's too small. I think yours is smaller than that. Oh my God, came with this. Oh my God, yeah, and on that note,
by Uber. Jesus Christ, man.
and on that note, this has been What You Saying podcast. Like and subscribe.
Wait, okay, quick. Wait, quickly before we go. What's the Met officer resigning? Why is she resigning?
Her name, what's her name? Is that?
Dick.
It begins with a C.
Her name is
Jeremy Corbyn.
Her name is Dame Crescenda.
Crescenda Dick.
Yeah.
Her name's Crescenda Dick. She is the Metropolitan Police Commissioner.
So
Right? She's head of the police in London.
Yep.
Yeah. She stepped down.
Why?
Because she's hiding evidence of Boris and what he's been doing during lockdown from the courts.
learn something new every day.
Hey, you know what? Yeah, I'm not gonna lie. I'm not gonna
She's
swear.
been pissing about with the investigation, and they found out that she's holding back evidence and this and that with the reports. You know, not being crossing the T's and dotting the I's and so forth, and evidence going missing and blah blah blah. Obviously, she's a commissioner. Obviously, she gets a massive pay salary, and obviously, she's a bit corrupt. She's always been corrupt, apparently. That's what everyone's saying on Twitter. But she had to step down because she's been caught.
I think we should all move to Leeds or Bradford, find a online work from home job, buy a 50k 5-bedroom house, and just
I'm coming with you, bro.
and just like
I'll
leave
just
the.
let my cousins.
Can we not buy a farmland, right?
You can.
Turn it into a mini village,
You can.
yeah, and then like just like
You can.
would you?
We call it RA.
Um,
City of RA.
You call
No.
it Karbala.
what would you know? But what you do, yeah, you just become self-sustaining.
Karbalaville.
Invest like 50k, become
That is a
self-sustaining.
shout. I'm on.
We call it Karbala.
But okay, how would you become self? We discuss this next time. But if we find a way to become a self-sustaining community and a village,
You grow your own thing.
You're so
you
dead.
flopped it.
you're so dead.
Pass. Oh,
Hey! Okay.
first try.
Magic Mike has lost it. All right.
Thank you for watching.
Lovely. Thank you for watching What You Saying podcast with myself, Moses, and Severex. Please like and subscribe and like his other videos, especially the one where he burns his hand. Thank you.